Hello, I'm Don Mitchell. Welcome back to Business Basics. We continue today with lesson 45, which discusses how to more efficiently operate activities for customers as one of the great ways to reduce investment intensity for you and all your stakeholders. As always, I'd like to begin by quoting from the Bible to inspire us appropriately. In this case, from the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 11, in the New King James Version. And I quote, "But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge." This lesson continues our examination of ways to gain investment reducing benefits by looking at doing more for customers in more efficient ways than they can do for themselves. Customers often make unnecessary investments due to performing too many activities for themselves. Why would a customer do that? A list of potential causes that can contribute include: 1. In times of higher than usual employment insecurity, employees seek to do more things in order to appear to be more indispensable to their employers. Second, employees often fail to understand how inefficient their use of investment funds is. Third, management may not appreciate by how much investments and costs could be reduced through asking suppliers to do more for the customer organization. Fourth, many customers make decisions based solely on what the profit impact is compared to their history, mostly ignoring whatever investments are required and their impacts on cash flow. Next, many company leaders believe that they become more secure by expanding the number of their core competencies in the areas that where they could potentially add great value for their customers. And finally, many customers fail to look at ways to reduce investments once made, or the organization becomes committed to making an investment. Here's an example of such causes drawn from my own consulting experiences. A client organization decided to hire Mitchell & Company instead of its usual consulting firm for stock price improvement. Client executives were tired of having lots of young consultants hanging around the company's offices doing tasks the executives could probably do better for themselves after they learned how. The other consulting firm refused to teach the executives and hand off any task, most of which were related to day-to-day management. The consultants were very highly paid by the consulting firm, which charged the client almost 4 times their salaries for providing services, much more per hour than the client executives received in salaries. In making this choice of consulting firms, the client executives failed to appreciate that the ongoing activities related to stock price improvement assignment were very simple and inexpensive to do. Even if the company had hired Mitchell & Company to do all such tasks for them, the annual cost would have been minimal. The big cost was for developing the data, something that only had to be done every few years. The client executives were determined to learn how to do as many things as possible for themselves, including things they wouldn't have to do for several years. Wanting to gain the fullest value from their learning, they sometimes brought 30 people to Mitchell & Company's training sessions. A consequence of this demand for training was to increase charges for the consulting project. They had a great many internal costs by diverting time and attention from other tasks, and to discourage people from wanting to work in stock price improvement, simply because it seemed so difficult due to learning about complex data development. The client executives had the right idea about not hiring consultants to do routine activities they should be doing for themselves, but they were mistaken and believed that the data development work involved in stock price improvement was such an activity. If instead they had simply asked for a 5-year contract to routinely develop the necessary information and describe the implications for them, I could have reduced the external and internal cost of this work by about 2/3. Since they were capitalizing the cost of my work on their balance sheet, such an alternative approach would have saved the company a tidy investment. They would have also received more benefit for the money they spent, while allocating much less time to learning about stock price improvement and more time to employing stock price improvement methods in useful ways. I see similar miscalculations in other activities in many companies I visit. Their facilities often are operating at a tiny fraction of their potential due to not having enough business, not knowing how to optimally run the equipment, or having offerings poorly matched to their equipment and facilities. What could they do instead? Well, some company leaders realize that they have such operating and facility issues and ask those who specialize in related tasks, such as contract manufacturers and IT outsourcing firms, to buy their facilities, to hire their staffs, and to conduct the tasks for them. In making such a decision, company leaders may not realize that even with expert leadership, existing facilities and current employees may not be able to provide much more value in performing such activities. In such circumstances, a better approach is to ask suppliers what offerings they would like to provide that would enable the customer company to operate much more efficiently in terms of costs and investments. Left to the free hand, customers will often be astonished by how much suppliers can help them to save. Let me explain what I mean about operating with a free hand by elaborating on the consulting example. A very large percentage of the costs associated with stock price improvement consulting is potentially useful for other people in the industry. A wise client would encourage the consulting firm to make a pitch to everyone else in the industry for sharing the data development while maintaining appropriate safeguards so that sensitive data are not disclosed to other clients. As a result, more than 80% of the investment cost of data development for each company in the industry could be eliminated. Similar opportunities can probably be found elsewhere. For instance, an equipment manufacturer could create one optimal facility using its own gear to serve all the production needs of its customers within a geographical area. Costs and investments for such a customer served would plummet due to the facility being operated at a higher throughput rate for more hours by experts. Some countries' potential cooperation among competitors is limited, such as due to antitrust laws and regulations in North America and in Europe. Other countries allow more cooperation, permitting suppliers to invite their customers to meet and explore how having the suppliers perform their operations could provide cost and investment breakthroughs. In some cases, suppliers know how to design and to produce outstanding equipment, but aren't nearly as good at making it run. In such instances, equipment suppliers who seek the best operators can either hire or learn from them in ways that are acceptable to customers. When it comes to IT, outsourcing opportunities are even greater. A supplier can use free open source software as a foundation for enhancing the systems that all of its customers use. When that happens, investments by customers can be greatly reduced. In some cases, it can be helpful for the supplier to fill in what the open source providers cannot easily do. You can see that motive in IBM's extensive support of the Linux operating system. IBM wants its service customers to avoid expensive investments in Microsoft's operating systems and application programs. Here are 5 questions to guide you in seeking to do more for your customers. First, how can you make all your customers more efficient and less investment intensive by combining and performing their activities? Second, what major activities can you do for customers that they cannot do nearly as well for themselves? 3, what resources and knowledge can you add to be even more effective in such a role? 4, who else can you partner with to make even larger efficiency improvements and more substantial investment reductions? 5th, what new offerings will most encourage customers to choose you to operate activities for them in ways that provide major efficiencies and investment reductions? So what's the key point about operating activities for customers more efficiently? Redesign your company's business models, methods of operating, use of facilities, ownership of facilities, breadth of product line, and offerings to take on activities where you can operate more efficiently and with less investment than customers can, to allow them to reduce investments in such activities by 96% and create lots of excess cash for all. Your assignments are fourfold. First, identify the 5 most significant activities you could operate more efficiently for customers while vastly reducing their investments. Second, consider how you can build the trust needed to encourage customers to let you operate such activities for them. Third, investigate how such changes would affect your other stakeholders. Fourth, explore how your company's business models, methods of operating, use of facilities, ownership of facilities, breadth of product line, and offerings can be shifted over time to be even more effective and to make it easier for stakeholders and your company to operate with very little investment as a result of you doing more activities for customers and other stakeholders. So as always, I hope this lesson has been a very big help to you. I look forward to you coming back soon so I can share more important lessons from business basics. In the meantime, may God bless you, your family, and all you do in the name of Jesus. Goodbye for now. Take care.